Good morning, friends. This is Jeff Arcos. Welcome again to the daily webinar. Today we are Wednesday, 8th of January 2020. Remind you, this one is not meant to be a financial advice. This is only an education presentation. Please consider term and condition before you continue, and when you receive this recording as well. Thank God for another day to my life, and I pray His blessings to that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, welcome back, and you might receive the index mid already. So let's have a look at the new side. I just saw the yen moving very, very sharp. At the moment, must be some announcements that I don't see yet. We only have Australian building approval at 10:30, but yeah, I don't know. Something has spiked the yen crosses, but anyway. So tomorrow, crude oil inventories as normally is on Wednesday. Canadian is what is Canadian? A bit stronger, but nothing more that we can see about that. And we're coming towards the non-farm payroll, and that's where everything, I guess, is waiting for it. All right, so let's look at what happened into our, what is, oh, here it is. There. So we started the week. We're looking at the weekly candle close. We are right in the top where we want to look over there. Right over here, we got a nice bar down in that it is New Zealand yen, New Zealand yen, New Zealand yen, and there it is. So it has break and never reach over there. So now the break is true, it's coming over there. So we got one is now running perfectly. And then we did have that Australian yen as well. Beautiful resistance the monthly. Beautiful there. And I'm sorry, let's need to go back over there. And then I go to the, where are you? Australian yen. And there it is. Strong break, never got it to the point. So that's what I normally, so this is important at the beginning of the week. You know, when we see this rally before we activate it, it's always a good idea to wait for that pullback, and then we can put a both, you know, in there, or the break over there. So now it's breaking quite strong. So we start a good week now already, and that is what we want to get from there. Euro yen, same, right in here in the top, looking quite promising. Looking from the rejection points, and that's euro yen. So as we know now, all the yen crosses are actually moving, and there we are. And that was the midpoint. So in this case, would be triggered right over there. In this case, worked the midpoint. I should have gone the pound yen as well, but never mind. So that's what it is. A small stop loss now towards the target, and that's it. So good on you for that. And we got a quite nice entry. Okay. Pound yen. So that's the one with yeah, that's quite clear over there what it is. So pound yen, I think it would already. Oh no, it hasn't break. Like I said, here would be a nice. If I would have put it both, now I don't think so. It would mind it if I put it both there. Yeah, that's sometimes happen like that, but I don't know. It's gonna trigger there. Yeah, it has to be right over here, and it would be triggered beautiful over there. Never mind. Got the euro yen. So now I reckon it's been hasn't not been stable that one there as well. So, but yeah. So all the yen crosses are performing very well from our weekly setup, and there we are. So that was quite nice. Then we have the USEM, the same thing. First week that turns around, top of the monthly over there, very clear there. Comes over here, that week is there. The market is moved, so Monday we normally wait for a quiet retracement, and then USEN, and there it is, right in the midpoint. In this case, it works, and now I can move my stop loss close to there. So minimize the risk. Now I can do the calculation as well of now that I have a move over there um, from there, and I can actually say, yeah, I'm happy if I get to here, and that it is 180 pips there. So say something spike this currency, and that's what they're moving over there. And that's it. So that's the five currencies we have. So all of them are performing very well. Euro yen midpoint. So that's one good way always to keep an eye with that one. Pound yen, unfortunately, didn't get too quickly with that because of that move was suspicious. But never mind, that's still active. This one is running, and New Zealand yen as well is running into that. All right, so we hopefully now we got the beginning of the month. We got the first week that we're looking for. We did have there, and then the rest. Now let's have a look. For example, New Zealand Canadian and New Zealand Swiss, which is we don't trade that, but if we would be trading that, what would be the results from that? So New Zealand Canadian and New Zealand Canadian, why? This one is no. Alright, so New Zealand Canadian and New Zealand Canadian and New Zealand Canadian. So there we are. So monthly, weekly, daily. Get this one off. And there we are. So both are as well running from once this one is retracing, that's where I see, that's a nice level to consider that a nice trade as well. Normally, this kind of pullbacks is there, so that's running nice. New Zealand Swiss right over there, and so once through the date it retrace, at night time is good idea just to put the trade over there, and that's it's working as well over there. As I said, this one sometime it could be there. Australian Canadian, Australian Swiss, things that we don't look either, but um, there's Australian Canadian. If we're looking Australian Canadian over here, the same thing, the top of the month, and we're looking that weekly over here, and that's it. Look at that. How cool is working with the system. Australian Swiss, first week, and the top of the month. So that has his merit into what we see over here, and that is quite cool to see anyway that way over there. All right, so that would be just the five currencies we have for the week. We don't mess up with the rest at the moment. Yeah, just waiting for the there. So we concentrate in this group, and the rest we just leaving at the moment from there. Euro Canadian, it was possible that to look in over here. Yeah, now it's a retracement there. So this is the good thing always to get into. I think this is the one that is. This one as well has those indicators sometimes slow down the computer is only 48% utilized, so I don't know. Oh, okay, no. Object list, that's the one we wanted. Should know. Now it's frozen my PC. What I'm gonna do. Closing more programs. No, this one maybe close that. Close this one. Close that for the moment. This one maybe. Wow, that hasn't happened before. That it's only 45. Utilize strength. There it is. Even up. Maybe I need to clean up the disk, and yeah, I think it to this too many of these. Where is this one? I already eliminated. Sweet Sport Gold. This is the one I want to get rid of. There it is. Then it's another Sweet Sport Gold normally done there. So as you know, we're looking for example the weekly, as I normally say, and the daily. I always find that the beginning of the week always is a risk, you know, and that's what if I want to go short over there, I definitely wants to get a retracement like that, and then connect the EA, and then take whatever chance it is. If this is there, I want to take a retracement first, before I connect the EA. Always is a good idea, just to avoid us when we enter into this. If this one is going long, I want to wait for a daily retracement and then connect the E8. So this is what we did on Monday. We wait for that the daily retracement or something, then we connect the E8. So then if it goes, if it knows, bad luck, so here it is. Maybe this is the beginning there, so this is the day that I'm looking to enter, and then whatever um, risk it will take from those positions. Now I want to review it again to that. This is supposed to be the weekly. Yep. The power of looking the monthly highs and the monthly lows. For do that, let's have a look something that is being trending a little bit, and there it is. So I think that every month has its opportunities, as we have 12 weeks at the end of every month. But one thing particularly that I'm looking, I don't know if you remember, we have three strategies at the end of the day with that with this. I don't know if Paul, Greg remember, but we have three strategies which I have classified. First of all, the first one is the weekly candle close direction. So this is the one that we just trade in that direction, that direction, and that, and this is the thing. The number two is the weekly candle close trend line. Okay, this is direction, and this is the trend line. So this is the one that I'm looking actually for breakout of this weekly. Every week I connect the highs and the lows like this, whatever we find it, reasonable over there, reasonable over here, and then I'm waiting for here a good daily break, and that was in 2015, I think it was. It was a very quite successful day. And the number three is the weekly candle close retracement. That's sort of kind of continuation. So if we're looking at weekly like this one, we say, oh no, this is just a retracement, and the first day up, that was there it is. So I'll explain you a little bit more. Now, so for example, in this one, and what happened, this is a bit aggressive than the weekly candle close direction, because with the weekly candle close direction, normally, you're looking to trade that, so you're coming at the end of the month, you want to see how strong the month has been going on from there, and from that moment on, so we want to be say if this is the highest or December over there. So right over here, right at the end of the month, I want to be draw trend lines. All right. So I draw the trend lines over there, and this the clone of that one there, and that was the 2015 strategies that we have. So we got over here, but the thing is that we are in the top of the month over here. We are looking for a trade right over there. All right, and suddenly on the daily, we're looking for the index meter to tell us right over there. If we look in the third, this is the New Zealand yen, and we're looking the second and the third over here. We're looking that the yen was, sort of, the yen is the red, yeah, and this is New Zealand. It was right in the top, but right over here, we're looking that the market is breaking the trend line there. I don't know why it's cloning different. Breaking that trend line, and then the market moving from there. All right. So if we're looking, for example, at the end of that, so my job over here is to get the highs and the lows of that move over there. So as we look in, the market is coming down. We're coming towards the end of the month, and this is when I want to, same with the weekly candle close direction. So if we don't want to use the weekly candle close trend line breakout, using the weekly highs and lows and looking for the daily there, so then we come that, we are looking for that specific day when the index meter right over here will tell us, yes, this is a nice break because of where we are at the top of the month over there. And then we have the trace over there, and then of course we can come up with anything over there. So here's right at the end of the month. So right over here, we want to make sure to draw a trend line. So normally you have to move 1 month over there to match up, 1 week to match up the monthly over there. So this is where we are. We're looking for something that is telling us there. So, and then from that day, we're waiting for the magic day when everything it will be telling us, yep, this is there. If we put in the close of the candle, possible we would get early, and that's the trend line. Now, the difference with the weekly candle close trend line that we don't use through the month, but we come in specific to hunting at the end of the month to the beginning of the month, to hunting that is the market is, this is now the weekly candle close direction. So you come in the top of the month, come out over here, and that's when you're looking to trade. It's exactly what we've done now with the yen crosses, and that this crosses can go for quite far, and the way they're moving over there. All right. So we're looking at another one there. So that's the end of the month. So right over here, what I want to be focused is where is I got to move one more, the weekly trend lines over there. So always readjusting over here, and there we have. So we are at the end of this month. So I don't know if I can put it a horizontal level there. So we are at the end of that month. So I'm looking for the weekly highs and lows, looking from there and looking from the day that it breaks. So in this case, it broke 3 days, and then I guess, didn't there. But what is interesting, is that the market performed now a weekly candle close continuation. As I say, the market will bounce or break. So we possibly be looking the retracement of that to enter over there, and maybe we have one sort of loss. But now what is interesting is that weekly low, we're still looking on the monthly support over there. That's the left shoulder over here. So if we move now that one to these levels over there where we are, and maybe there match perfectly, look at that again. So the left shoulder rejection, and that is the move of that, the beginning of that month over here. So this is a bit different, but the way that I'm looking at this strategy, the sometimes it's just safe to wait for the daily, the weekly telling you, because then you have to know. But when we're using the weekly candle close trend line breakouts, we only focusing into, what I call the end of the month or the beginning of every single month. Okay, so we want to see where the trend lines it is, instead of looking through the month. Oh, I'm gonna draw here, draw there, draw there, draw there, because that's what normally I was doing from those moments. Here we can use a completely different sort of kind of the and the same we can do with anything else. So if we look in here, so we coming towards the end of this month there, right there over here. So right toward the end of the month over here. So normally we need to move one bar to match up the timer. So that's what we have. It's like a sort of setup that is happen through that. So in here, I want to draw my trend lines. So I come at the end of the month to draw my trend lines. All right. And from here, of course, we're going to be waiting for something significant, that is that. Now I like that one there because this one never actually close above or below. But if we're looking over there, no matter where we're looking over here, that is actually sort of kind of pattern breakout technique. But the interesting part again is we come to look for these opportunities at the end of the month. All right, so at the end of the month is when we want to see what is happening, what the market is going to decide for the beginning of the next month, and that's the decision, and that's what is running, and that's why I guess the euro will run up with the with these moves over here. All right, so we're looking another month. So this is now the beginning, the end of the month, and the beginning of the new month. So we got to move one more bar, and that's what immediately we start seeing opportunities that the market showing up over there. And now, when we readjust the bars over here and the lines over there, we're looking that daily candle that it crossed there. So we are in the top of this month. That's where we are. We have the weekly trend lines, and we have the day that it breaks over there. Now, if we wait for the weekly candle close, this is where you're going to be looking over there. Now, where is a better entry from there? So that's what I don't know if you remember the PowerPoint I used to have, the trades I recorded in 2015 using this technique. But in that time, I was looking every single weekly highs and lows to draw, and that's what I sometimes I got that I was trading too much. But sticking in a game at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month, I want to be looking for the opportunities to happen. That could be a little bit ahead of what the weekly candle close can give it to us. Okay, so here we got another one. That's the end of the month right over there. Okay, so here we need to move a little bit more, and then we're looking for the highs and lows of the market from there. So we're looking everything. The beauty of this is you need to play with the trend lines all along. And there we are over here. So from here, whether even we're looking over there, what we want to be looking from here is we have a daily breakout from there. And as you see through the whole month, the market did not until there. So nearly towards the end of the month, which we're expecting at the beginning of the month anyhow. All right. So that's another opportunity over here. Here we got now the top of the month, and that's if we look in there, that's the end of the month. This is the close of the month. So whichever we're looking from here and to there, so that's the resistance sort of bar. So we are right over there, in and right over here, so we're playing at the end, the beginning of the month. We want to see what the market is producing us through there. So if we're looking there and here, something like that. So that's now that we have the weekly candle close direction on the top of the month. And here what we can do is wait for that day. Now, how amazing that, let's see the first trade, go on a break even. But when we're looking at the second trade with a significant bar, it comes to the golden candle anyway. And that's when the market went completely sideways at the end of the day. So that's the end of the month. And that's where the bars we have over there. So we immediately we're looking, okay, let's have a look. The most important thing is play with your lines. Now that breakout over there, we don't have index media for this, but this, that was definitely a good breakout. If we say that this is my stop loss, that's nothing that we can do about it. It's not perfect trade anyway, and that's my range from the close to the low of my of the monthly, and right over here the market comes and stop me out over there. But the market continue, and we have now this. Now we miss one, but we get the next one over there. Now we're trading with the monthly high. There is no signals for sure if I want to draw a trend line and if I want to be looking the beginning of the month. Two things always to say that's happened here. The market is going to break through or is going to bounce. So in this case, we're trading now monthly direction, weekly direction, and the daily breakout. And that's the moves that we have over there. All right. So that's the weekly candle close strategy. But the difference and what I want to change is that we're not looking every week. We want to be looking specific at the end of the month, the beginning of the new month, what the opportunities is presenting us from there. Now here's a bit choppy, but if I look, there, and if I say that's the end of the month is quite bearish, and I don't discharge the idea if the market will retrace or do something, it will do something about these lines over there. And oil did break right there. So we have our first trade. We got a level now, a monthly support over here. We know that where we can put lines over there and look where the market. The first trade goes, move break even or maybe a little bit loss, but that's fine. But from that moment on, through this weekly over there, we got a nice pullback. And if we want to get there, and that was the beginning of that mighty run the commodity. So Canadian will be very strong from now on. Maybe next week we will see a strong Canadian was strong already. So, but yeah, and there we are. So we look in the top of the month over here. So we move one more bar over there, and we have a highs and lows on the market over there. So we come over there, we look in, this is the high of the market in this case. Just gonna put that one over there. So we are in the high of the monthly over there. We got the bar over here. So that's it is 0707. Remember the monthly sometimes can finish through the week. So that it will not be exactly to this one over there. But here it is the important part that if we are right over there, so that's now matching over here. So we got that, or we got the next one down. We got a break even, but what is interesting is where the market is coming back, and that's his new moves over there. All right. So we're coming at the end of the month again over here. So we normally need to move one more bar over there, and then we can draw our trend lines through that. So we readjust it, and that will be the true trend line over there. And there we have. So we are over there. That would be 0609. The market comes, plays around, and bam, breaks. Now if we see where the support was over there, I can see with that. Wow, so we had one support there, another support over here. So let's put it back over there, that one. And there we have. So the date that is actually telling us this is a nice break. We got at the end of the beginning of the month, and the market moves from those levels over there. All right, so this is the weekly candle close trend line breakout, which is mainly comes from the weekly highs and lows, and we're waiting for a daily breakout. But the difference now is that we will focus more into to draw trend lines, from the end or the beginning of every month. So if we're looking, for example, in the dollar index, this is the end of the month. So this is my resistance level so far, match with that one over here. So right over here, I need to be drawing my trend lines, and I already got a trend line over here. So even before the month is finished, and that it is the breakout. So I don't know how many of you remember that lesson. So before I used to draw everywhere, the trend lines everywhere, here, there. But what I found that now with these monthly highs and lows, what a best place to hunting that weekly trend line breakout trend line um, at the end of the end of the month, the beginning of the new month. It's such a good way of looking. Now the other strategy is to wait for the weekly candle close there, which is the entries over there, instead of here. So a bit faster, but it works both ways at the end. So come here, and now the one of the good things of this one over there, that if we go back to here, that if the dollar breaks in that moment, the 3rd of December, if we look in the 3rd of December over there, what is all right, so that's the 3rd of December. The US, it has a minus 37, while the US was already getting weaker. So, but here in the 3rd of December, the US, it was, and that's the beginning of the new month. So from November to December, we have the beautiful setup over here. The market breaks. We are in the top of the monthly. There we got the weekly trend line, we got the daily breakout, we got the index meter with us. So then from here we can say, okay, I'm gonna be looking to trade the New Zealand US at that position over there. So I'm looking at the New Zealand US, and I'm looking a beautiful there. Now this is sort of kind of continuation, and here the same thing, we can say that's a nice breakout. So market breaks, goes, and we can have our targets. So from here to there is no about 140 pips, and then jump out of that boat, because that's the end. The other ones we say over here, it would be the US Swiss. So come out over there, come out over here, and come over there. So the weekly trend line breakout, and look, this is the top of the month. So that's where everything, could be quite fascinating looking that way. And until now, this trade would be lasting because the market, it has continued from there. So that's fast. That's looking, which have much better entries. So the daily index meter will be quite crucial for us at the end of the beginning of the month. If you don't have time for the daily index meter, so the weekly index meter would be the one to catch over there. From here, maybe not getting from there, but from the next week as well. So it's two strategies. One, with the weekly candle close, and the second one with the daily candle, with the daily breakout, but it has to come at the beginning of those ones there. So if I look at Australian US, would be the next one to pick according to the table. Do we move too much? Let me have a look. The dollar. Uh, yeah, we move one there. So that it is. So Australia US, and the same thing. And where is Australian US here? At the bottom of the monthly. We got over here, we draw our trend lines again. We draw our trend lines over there, and that's the break. Let's see, we got break even over there. That's the next jump over here. And with the EA, you would be following that direction. The EA re-enters right there wherever it breaks, put you out over there, back again over there, and out of somewhere over there. And at the moment, this one is running quite heavy from there. Euro US at the bottom of that, of that thing up there. We draw trend lines. Nice breakout. Maybe go to stop out. If you were looking, big stops, you will survive. Otherwise, this one was a bit crunchy. That's what the reason was what it was. US yen. And US yen always is the top of the month. Yes, there it is. And then you would be break even possible with this trade with the 4 hours time frame. Now, is that a good way of, quite a bit faster? Just coming over there, looking, what the monthly. Once you go the trend lines, once you know, and this is looking the last week of the month and the first week of the month, the new month, and looking from there, actually is quite good, to do it. Now, if we're looking, for example, what had happened with the dollar just now, if we say there and we say here, so we are right there at the end of the month, as you're looking over here, and what do we show with there? Yeah, that's January over there. So that's the end of the month. So we got over there. In this case, it's a bit sharp, the trend line over here. We still having two over there, and we are at the end of the month, and look what happened today, where the dollar has break from that position. Now, if we look in the dollar today, the dollar has at 28. So we're looking over here, the dollar is still possible flat over there, but when we're looking now at the dollar over here, the US is strong, so I will be looking Australian US opportunities from here today, and that it is. So now we're coming towards the non-farm payroll, and you know that right in that it is. So that's the daily break over here, and that's what we have. So then we will be looking at maybe not the US yen at the moment, they're going very crazy, but New Zealand US and Euro US is actually the one to look, as the market is already breaking from here, breaking from there, and we are at the top of the month. We got that weekly trend line in place, and we got the daily breakout. Beautiful ABC index meter, and that's the run over here. Euro US, same. The top of the month, we come over here and we just continue looking the weekly trend lines that we have over there. In this case, possible we got an ABC internal, and it could be a nice risk with the Euro US over there. If we're looking at resistance levels, there's your resistance levels right over here. Okay, so that's the introduction of the weekly candle close retracement. Like I said, I have done this in 2015, but I got exhausted because here I was drawing everywhere, right over there, right over here, right over here. But I find that actually, coming, as I say, looking now the monthly, because it's nothing much better to look a short when everything is in the top over there, isn't it? So we're looking right on the beginning of those runs, and whenever those market breaks, if the Euro US is right in the position, I want to see what the dollar is doing right there, and that's what the dollar is doing right there. It's moving towards up, and so therefore we are in the top of the month. We have a weekly trend line. We have a daily breakout. The dollar is helping me with that, and that's the trade. Now, the euro hasn't been an easy currency to trade, and this is when the index meter could help us with this one over there. All right, so two strategies to follow, very, very simple. Once the market is in his direction, I believe, if these weeklies like these ones happen, we can very easily interpret it through the middle of the week. So we are already into the trade. That is the weekly candle close retracement. Here we can actually use to add positions into the trade that is already running from the beginning of the month until the market is, comes and stop us out. There it is. All right. So thank you very much, and we see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. So all the these trades are actually going quite okay. Is yes, I don't know what anyone know what happened with that one, but something might be a spike up the market very strong. So this is the things that sometimes we don't know, and EA's just volatility got in there. It's part of the game, I guess, and that's all I can say right now. All right, my friends, thank you very much. We see you tomorrow morning. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Gregory. And thank you, Jeff. No, Shane. See you tomorrow, okay? Cheers and bye.